Just Eff It. Hi, I'm Romy.
Hi, and I'm Carla.
And together we are the
EFFing
Madres. We are here to invite you guys into stories of some inspiring madres
who have changed their lives through an Eff It moment. So here we go.
Just Eff It.
Good morning, madres. How are you all?
Good morning to
all our mama madres. Just so everyone knows.
Carla, do you want to?
I was just going to say, everyone knows.
I was going to say, do you want to tell them what Madres is?
I was just like, we were talking about it and we were like, everyone knows what Madres is. And then we were like, well, you know what? Let's just be safe and just explain that Madres does mean mama. But we are wanting to, since we're both Latinas and that's our our handle and our name. So we want to do the Madres thing. So good morning, Madres. Yeah.
So it's moms. We're the moms. Happy Monday. Yeah. Good morning. And we're the fuck it madres.
The fuck it, the Eff it, the clean version Eff it madres. So if you are new to the podcast and you haven't listened to the previous 2 episodes, we just want to explain really quickly what you're in for. So essentially, this is a community of madres supporting madres and through their Eff it moment. So the Eff it moment can be either you've had it, you're going through it, or you want it. But the Eff it moment we're specifically focusing on, it's not like the Eff it moments we have every day, because let's be real, we're moms, we have Eff it moments every single day, like Eff it, I gave my kids cereal instead of dinner, but we're not talking about those ones. We're talking about the ones that are pivotal, life transforming, mental shifting moments that change the trajectory of your life and of your families. So again, you could either have had it and you've already gone through it and experienced it and your life has changed, you're in the midst of it, or you want to have it. This is the platform, the community that we are building to share these stories, to support moms having these moments and wanting to go through it. So that's what this podcast is. So this is what you're going to get.
Well said, Carla. I mean, so well said. That is exactly what this podcast is. And we are the Eff it Madres. So we're going to get into some Eff it stories.
Yeah.
Monday motivation. Welcome back, you guys. We have another amazing guest that we are really, really excited to share. Our second guest of our podcast. We're doing it. We're making it work. And I'm so excited because we have Abby Johnson, who is joining us. And Abby is married to one of my childhood best friends' brother, who I grew up with their family. They were my family growing up. And I've just been loving being able to watch Abby and her husband and their children's journey. And I reached out because I just thought it was something really special if she wanted to share. And when she said yes, I was so excited. So Abby, thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Good to be here.
Yeah, so let's just get into it. So when did you decide to just Eff it and why?
Well, I'm very much like a fuck it every day type of person. So I feel like I get there frequently, Okay. As a mom,
Yes.
I never wanted to when I was a kid, I never thought about getting married. I always thought about being a mom. So my main focus was to take care of my kids and make sure that they were happy. You know, I wasn't the happiest coming up, so I wanted to make sure that they really had that, and I have 3 kids. The first 2 are twins. They just turned 6, and at about, very early on, it was just, my doctor told me, you're going to have 2 kids at the same time that have to be in the same place at the same time. They're going to be completely opposite, and it is so true. They, very early on, as soon as they could, they ran in opposite directions, and one of them displayed I had 2, the first 2 are boys, typically born boys. Assigned male at birth is the technical term, is how we say it in our family now. And they both were assigned male at birth. And early on, one of them was very particular and liked specific things, all things Barbie and sexual and princess, and very opposite me. I never liked Barbie. And like dolls, and I'm like white and purple and black are the only things I would. Purple is never something I would wear. So it was interesting to see ever really take off after this. And I'm cool. I've always been cool. I'm like, my kids can do whatever they want, want to wear dresses? Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
I remember watching your posts and stuff with like the dresses and like the Frozen, and
Yeah.
I was like, yes,
Go for it.
yes,
Whatever. Fuck it.
yes.
You want to wear dresses? We're
I
cool.
loved
Here
it.
we
I
go.
loved it.
Really. And it kept progressing. And um, it got increasingly harder to try and fit in a box. We would go shopping, and there's very clearly the girls section and the boys section. And Ever was very much drawn to the girls section. And it would, I was navigating, constantly trying to find pink shorts or pink shirts that she would want to wear. And eventually, she said to me one day, Mommy, I just want to go inside of a box and come out a girl. And I said, fuck it. I mean, I distinctly remember saying, fuck it. Why not just do that right now?
What age was this, Abby? What age was this at?
She was like 3.5 when that happened. It was persistent.
Mhm.
I'm Abel's sister. The other one is named Abel, and Abel, was actually the first one to start referring to Ever as his sister,
Wow.
because would say, "Go get your brother," and Ever would say, "Sister," and just correct me all the time,
They're so in
constantly. And
sync, right? Like as twins that like one
oh,
knows that
Abel
yeah.
knew. And he had been telling us the whole time, "That's my sister. Ever is a girl." And so we just listened,
Yeah.
and and we just said, "Fuck it."
Yeah.
We, I hate to say that, like, we allowed. It's just sort of we embraced it instead of, you know, um, I think a lot of times we have these ideas in our head and we make up these stories in our head. And at a certain point, you get there and you're just like, fuck it. That's not the story that I'm going to keep pursuing. It's going to be something different and I don't know what it is, And here we are. And so that's
Wow.
how I
No,
got there.
I mean I love that. I think what you just said though about that's not the story and we're going to change the story is we get stuck in our story. We get stuck in what our story's supposed to be, and there is that moment where you go that's not what it is.
Mhm.
And this is the time
No.
that it changes. So my next question would be to you is like what did you guys do about it when you finally said fuck it? Like what did you do?
Yeah.
What did that look like for your family?
A lot of talking with the husband. What does this look like for us? I talked to professionals, talked to the pediatrician, read a lot of books, got super involved in PFLAG and all of that, and just really got deep, did a lot of research, and just kind of got quiet with my head, because there was a big part of me that had to turn it off and like
Mhm.
set aside what I thought it was going to look like, and sort of be okay with being wrong about maybe what I was looking for, and just saying, okay, this is like, I'm welcoming this next chapter and whatever is going to come forward. And it was a lot of talking with my husband. He's so cool. Obviously it was a thing at
I
first,
was
but
going to say how was Mark through that change being the father?
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. People, I think a lot of people get worried about what other people are going to
Yeah.
think. And he's somebody that's very worried about that a lot of times, and I'm just not.
No.
I'm so conservative, so to speak, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So it's been good for me to say, tone it down, Abby. You got to remember what is important here. And so it's been cool to come together like that.
I mean,
You
I've been
know?
able to see him. He wears like his like trans socks and he's like out there with his girl. And it's been
Yeah.
really, I've known Mark since I was like 12, and to see
Yeah.
this father that he's become and then watch him support his daughter and his son and you guys as a family, it has just been, it's been such a like a blessing to see a dad like that.
That's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's been really an amazing journey to be part of, and we're still figuring it out every day. And like I take on this, like, I'm so rah, and Ever is just a kid, just being a kid, living and just doing her thing.
What were this like what once you guys decided that this was like, okay, fuck it. what sort of emotions came up for you initially? Like, tell us a little bit about that, mental health wise. Like, what were you guys going through at that for your kids and for you and your husband?
Yeah, I was definitely scared. I mean, I know for him, I don't like to speak for other people, but I know for a fact he was
Your husband.
terrified. Terrified, scared. Yeah, he was. I was.
Yeah.
I was terrified. He was more so terrified of what people are going to think and that sort of thing. I'm absolutely, it's such a scary world out there. And
Yeah.
you want
Yes.
kids to be happy and you want your kids to be
Yeah.
safe.
Yes.
And I don't want anything to fuck them
Yeah.
up. And now added layer of like an added layer. And so it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. I don't want to fuck it up. And I'm like terrified all the time I'm going to.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I think what you're saying too, though, is that you don't like it is a scary world out there, and for our children as moms, like we want to protect them, and I think I'm learning this as well. Like we want to protect them from everything, and at the end of the day, we
Yeah.
can't,
Cannot.
and that is so hard to accept.
Yeah.
That we cannot protect them from what, even like if someone teases Frankie at school right now and they do, and they hurt her or they put her down or her size, and kids are cruel.
Yeah.
They are cruel. And
They
I can't be the mom that's coming down the school trying to beat up the kids. I want to sometimes, but like I have to let my daughter learn how to have those interactions and find her strength. And I can imagine for you guys, like that is, you want to protect her and make
yeah,
sure everybody loves her and everybody welcomes her and embraces her the way that you and your family have. I'm curious if I can just add this in though. Has she been strong with any of that? Has she been able to?
yeah, she's really fortunate in the sense that, call it passing and she's young and absolutely beautiful.
She is.
So all and she's very feisty and I'll tell you, it's been really interesting. Before the transition, she was cranky. Best what you got. I said it just this morning, and she got all mad at me. I'm not cranky. From her mother. But to see this shift in her, and from the transition, and once we just embraced all of it, her just going for it. And now, I mean, yeah, she is so out there and just having a great time and wanting to just be a kid and is super curious. And yeah, it's been really quite amazing, and she's been awesome. It's inspiring, honestly. I'm like, you're so brave, and she's just like, what are you talking about?
How old is she now? How old are the
She's sick.
twins?
Yeah,
They're
they just
6
turned.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
And she looks exactly like Kato to me. She looks just like she looks like, yeah, I just see like such a Johnson in her, and she is absolutely gorgeous, Abby. She's such a pretty little girl, and being a mom, like you guys from outsiders, because I don't know, and we appreciate you sharing. I don't know what that would be like, but you guys seem to be handling it beautifully.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. We're having a good time. They are.
How was it with people in your life when this became, this was what it was going to be? How did people react, like family, friends? Because I've seen documentaries about this, and like like some of the families will just be like, oh, and then they just like scurry away, and a lot of judgment and a lot of isolation. Did that happen
Mhm.
with you?
No,
Wow.
we are thankfully so
Wow.
fortunate. Um, yeah, we have been so
That's awesome.
fortunate with the nucleus, our family nucleus, just beyond friends and I can tell you that once I sort of made like an announcement so nobody would mess up the pronouns
Mhm.
with ever and got it really clear. And once that happened and people sort of, you know, embraced Ever when they saw her or whatever, I could see the shift off of Mark, literal weight off his shoulders.
Mm.
Mhm.
Just it's really been awesome to see the community accept her around us, especially. Like we've
I was
really
gonna
been
say, you guys are in New. Where are you guys at? In Orange County, right?
Idaho, so we're in Orange County. Yeah. Yeah, and we're fortunate. We are super fortunate. He's a lot of his friends from LA, and we're originally from LA, so a lot of our friends are from there and here, and they've all been super supportive. We're
Wow,
lucky.
that is awesome.
No, I think it's yeah, I think it's really awesome. I mean, I like I said, I've only been able to see and I haven't been there like around her yet cuz when I was around her, it was a little bit different and stuff, but I get to see like grandma with her and like Carla said and I hope I can share this, Abby. You had posted something on your social media account and it like makes me tear up even if I go back and read it. It's the thing I had sent you, Carla, that she wrote.
Oh
Basically,
yeah,
Abby, do you remember you posted that post about if you're not on board and like if you
Yeah,
can't like you're out of this. Like I get like it's just like
our relationship can't grow from here, and
yes.
I can't expect everybody to be accepting, and I can't accept everybody to be on the same fucking journey that I'm on, but I can expect respect. And if you can't give me respect, then we can't be around each other. And that's cool. You do you over there, and I'm going to do me over here. And that's that. And I'm cool with that.
you're good with
I think that's
boundaries.
fair enough.
You're good with boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it, Carla. And I think that's even part of fuck it moments is we've talked about this. It's not just your job or this, it's your family. And it is sometimes having to say to family members or friends that chapter's
Yeah,
done. It's been closed. Like I've evolved, we've evolved. You're either evolving with us
Hmm.
we're not.
or you're
Yeah,
not.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that post, I feel like even to I mean even to the school, right? Even to teachers, even to people that were and you're letting them know.
Yes. Yes. This is a hard boundary. And, my pediatrician is so cool. And he, even before the transition, Everett's wearing dresses like all the time. And yeah, I think that's really cool that you're doing that. And, he was just so supportive of it. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey to be on and watch and be a part of, and just see this community of people who are out there. It makes me empowered, because
Yeah.
scary world out there. You see such negative shit and you can't take care of everything. All you can do is make sure you're teaching kindness. And that's about all we can do, right?
yeah,
Yeah, and I think it's like our jobs too, with our kids to teach them, like you just said, kindness. Frankie, my daughter, is at a school where it is that age where it's very boy girl this, boy girl that.
Yeah.
I was similar to you, and I know Carla, you're similar to that. Like, I don't think any of us were pink girls. I don't think all three of us were ever Barbie girl. Like, we were like, I just don't feel like that's. And so, we have daughters, so we all have daughters, right? When Frankie was born, I was like, I want nothing pink. I just want neutral colors, nothing pink. My daughter's room right now looks like, Still Magnolias, Pepto Bismol all over it. Like
You cannot
every
that story you told
yeah.
yourself
Yeah.
and it didn't happen.
And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And you have to embrace it.
Yeah.
but what you're teaching your daughter and your kids is such an important lesson of acceptance. If all of us were taught that when we were little kids, like this world would be so different. So it's
So
incredibly
much.
amazing that is a value, a core value that you're teaching them, and they will grow up to accept all the differences there are in this world. And I think that's absolutely beautiful. Like, what an incredible thing you're
Yeah.
doing.
Oh, thank you. It was just by accident.
I mean, it falls into your guys' life because you're able and you were the right parents, for the situation. Like those are your kids. It's like Frankie, I was saying, like, she came home the other day and I was listening to Harry Styles, and she's in that little stage, of like, who is this boy or who is this girl? And I had to. She was like, who is this? And I was like, I showed her a picture of Harry in a dress, and
Yeah.
I was like, I want you to see this. Like, we're listening to him, but like, I want you to start to get comfortable and just like, it's important at this age that we also, like you said, we teach our children
Yes.
acceptance and kindness. Like, it starts at the home, it starts
Mhm.
now
Yes.
a and it starts with all our
Yeah.
kids.
It does. That's one thing that I've learned through this is how much more, like, I would have never talked about transgender or anything like that if I didn't have a transgender child. And,
Mhm.
kids are curious. creatures, okay? And so the kids that knew ever before and now they know her after, they're like, wait a second, what's going on here? And they're curious. And it's you know, there's one that was older and, said something to Ever and it just messed with her head for a solid year and a half where I
Oh.
don't want to see her again. I don't, and it just because they're curious. And if
Mhm.
we talk about this stuff with our kids, some people are born like this is what they're assigned, and
Yep.
non-binary and all of this, it's so important because it brings awareness to it and exposure,
Yeah.
and then kids
Yeah.
don't feel so like they have to be hiding and anything like that.
Isolated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really important to teach all of that stuff. And I wouldn't have been so on top of it if it wasn't for my kids, really. You know?
Yeah.
Is there any kind of community there for kids?
Yeah.
Is there a
Yes. Fortunately, yeah. Ever actually just did a a summer camp that was geared specifically towards non-binary and transgender kids for 6 to 8 years old, and it just was awesome to see these kids just bouncing around being kids, and
Yeah.
it's just really cool. Yeah, we've been super fortunate that way, and I cannot ask for anything more.
Oh. It's still tied into the emotions part, but like, okay, so maybe at that very moment in time, you had those specific feelings, but like, do you catch yourself falling into any sort of like, ooh, like, oh my gosh, what is this gonna be like in a couple years? Like, what if things change? Like, do you have any of these thoughts that come to you? Any sort of fears that you still hold on to, that your husband still holds on to? You don't have to share
Uh,
that if you don't want to.
yeah, just random stuff. Like I thought I was going to be the mom of three boys, and I'm not. And there's something that's really I personally thought there was something kind of special about being a mom of three boys, and I didn't get to take that title, and I was sort of a little bit like an asshole. I was in my head, I was an asshole. Like, I don't get to be the mom of three boys, but I get to be the mom of a fucking beautiful. So, like, the trade off is so amazing.
Mhm.
But there was that pull of, I don't get something,
Right.
I don't get that story that I had told myself. And, sort of, like missing out, it's sort of a missing out feeling. But it's quickly shut down by what is replaced by, and what I do get as a result.
Yeah.
So,
I take away so much from Abby from yours as just this again, the story that we're all just living with. And I really like appreciate you using that as like the term because it's that shift. And that is exactly the shift that we're like, when do you stop that story? Whether it is, I can't do this, or this isn't what it's supposed to look like, or this is how our family's supposed to look, or this is where we're supposed to live in any level in motherhood. Like, when do you take that story, have that shift, and say, no,
yeah.
fuck it, you know?
Yeah. And it's so scary when you do because you don't know you've been planning this for so long and you don't know what it looks like. You're like, fuck it, now I know nothing. Now I'm standing here knowing nothing. I'm a planner. I'm a type A. I like to sit down on a list.
Yeah.
Well, life in motherhood isn't always
Oh
like
yeah,
that, is it,
Oh,
no,
guys?
no, not at all. You're flying at the seat of your pants.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious, what would you say to other mothers that have children, going through the same type of transition, or you're having those moments? How would you tell them to kind of get to that moment?
Um,
You know?
yeah.
What would be your advice?
Be brave. And I feel like a lot of us moms, like, we have to be brave because it's hard to have kids. I'm going to give you a kid when you leave the hospital. You're like, oh my god, what do I do? But I think being brave, like, just being able to face the fact that you're not going to know what's going to happen and you're not going to know how it's going to work out, and being okay with that. I think that for me, that's hard. It's still hard for me not know the unknown, and I don't get to plan it out and I don't get to sort of map it out. it's so unknown, and just getting okay with that and being brave enough to just say, I'm fucking scared, but I'm still going to do it and be here and be okay.
Yeah.
Because it's my job,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it always
Yeah,
will. It
No,
always ends
100%.
up working out. Like if you,
it does.
it does, it does. The more you hold on real tight, the more friction and the more stress and the more problems arise. I think once you're like, fuck it, like it ends up being okay.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah.
I mean, I think all of us, I feel like, are very much like control. Like, we want to have control. Everyone's eyes just lit
Oh my God,
up.
yes. Oh yeah. My lesson when I was pregnant towards the end was to surrender. Like to surrender to how my
Yes.
birth was going to be and to surrender how everything else is going to be. And the moment you accept that, oh my gosh, like, oh, what a weight off your shoulders.
It really is like
Yeah,
physical,
it is.
you know?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, that's
Breathe.
what you said, Abby, that Mark had like physical weight lifted off him once he just said, fuck it. Like you really can breathe when you stop trying to control it all. And just like Carla said, even so much as like a birth plan, we all go in with our perfect, the moon's going to be up. I have my oils. It's going to be
Yeah.
beautiful. And, and then I'm like hooked up to drugs and can barely push her out.
Yeah.
And like, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't know how this is going to go. We don't know our
Mhm.
birth. We don't know who our children are going to be. We plan it in our heads. You can put the room together. You can say no pink or this is my boy or this is my girl. The moral of the story is surrender because you may not have any
Yeah.
of
No, you
that.
have zero
Yeah.
control. In fact, you're going to get blindsided. So, you know, barber. I'm a barber, and I was so excited to have all boys. Like, yeah, they're gonna have the sickest haircuts. They're gonna have all these solid stuff. Now I have to cut women's hair now. Oh, I was so stoked. Catherine, Mark's sister. Can you cut my hair? No, I'm sorry, I can't do it. Now,
Carla's a hairdresser too, Abby.
Oh man, I was just gonna say I think the most stress my parents were so stressed out because that's all they did was like control, 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 and they were just always like fucking off their rockers. So it's like, okay, yeah, no, you got to let go.
yeah, some things.
We were talking with another mother this week, and I think that was another thing where it's like everyone's so stressed all the time. And like with what's going on in the world right now, and then what's happening in our homes, like if you don't let some shit go and accept, like your kids are just going to see you stressed out trying to control things. And that is hard. I'm a control freak, I'm OCD. I don't know how to slow down, but also I'm learning my child needs to see me like, and bring it down a little bit. And like based on like what it looks like with you guys just embraced it and you're having fun, and like you're this family that's just you're in it. And so when you stop like trying to control situations and you do just say fuck it, I feel like that the biggest thing is just we all can breathe,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, which is important, right? Because then you get
And
wait,
our kids need
because
that.
this is the prime time, right? You're not gonna get these.
Oh gosh, yes.
Look at
Yeah.
Yes.
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is the time it's like you did say that it is the prime time. Like this is when everything starts to like I'm in therapy now at 40 because of stuff that was like 6 years old. Like this is the time that these things start to soak in. It's true. Like it's an important age, and what we teach them and what we shower them with and the love and all that they get, like there's just there's nothing I don't feel for me more important than our kids feeling that love,
Yeah.
that acceptance,
I
100.
can feel it because I didn't feel it and I have the issues. So like I'm avoiding that, I'd like to try and avoid that, absolutely. That's the goal, totally. Whatever
Yes.
that takes,
Yeah.
you know?
I
Yes.
think our generation and moving forward is kind of breaking that old patterns of like the way that, because for our parents the therapy and all that stuff was so taboo. It was like more under the radar. It was like just frowned upon, especially, I don't know about you, Romy, but like my parents both Latin, closed-minded. That was just not accepted. So like from us moving forward, I think it's very much like we're breaking that cycle, which I think is really, really important.
It
So
is.
yeah.
Oh, 100%. My father, who is Latin, very old school, Latin man, raised me with like, I mean, I think the message I got from my father before he passed was just don't trust anybody. That was like my whole life was just don't trust anybody. It wasn't like therapy or get this. It's just don't trust anybody. Mind you, he was like running from the law my whole life, but that's, but like our parents then didn't do the work and they weren't trying to like, I think be as open as all of us are. I feel like us as moms in this time, we're all doing more work and evolving personally. And I pray that that makes our children in that generation a little bit more loving and kind and open because us parents are putting more work into ourselves, if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Absolutely.
And that we don't have, a ton of jerks running around this world anymore.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Abby, is there anything else that you would like to share?
Yeah. Is there like an organization or something that you want to
Yeah.
support, that you want us to put up?
definitely P flag, obviously. I had I
Yes.
don't cry. I hope I don't cry. I had this customer kid. His name was Patrick Turner, and he committed suicide. I think 6 or 7 years ago, something like that. And he left a bunch of letters to the school and to his parents and to his family and stuff like that. But his main mission was to promote kindness, and he was. I don't. He was the coolest kid. I swear to God. He had this afro of hair, and he was just a beautiful person, and you would have never known ever. And I wish that he would have spoken out, but when I heard about this happened before I ever had kids, and I swear to God, as soon as I heard it, I just broke out. And so his mom has started an organization in his name to bring awareness and spread kindness, and it's called Patrick's Purpose. And
Okay.
he's from he lived in Corner Del Mar, and he was on the baseball team. He's a big baseball player, and I just, if anybody could go check that out, and just remember to be a friend to somebody. If you see somebody, be a friend. Be a friend. You know, be kind, as you never know what anybody is.
What they're going
Yeah.
through.
100%.
Oh, I have
Oh, yeah.
I,
yeah.
That's
I
how,
have like goosebumps.
how
It's
old
just like
was
hard it's
Patrick?
hard to hear.
he was, I think, 16.
Ugh.
Oh.
It was,
Mm.
yeah, it was tragic. It was really, really sad. He had got 2 or 3 older brothers, and I haven't seen his mom since then. And I mean, like I said, he's his afro, and his mom always wanted to get them cut his hair, and he never wanted to get his cut. I mean, afro, and it's just the coolest head of hair, and I never wanted to cut it either because he had just the most. Yeah. And he was bro man, and their symbol is his little face, and you can see his little hair.
Oh.
Oh.
So special. I mean, I think about him all the time. And when he passed, I told his brother, your brother, that's absolutely tragic, and I'm so sorry, but it's going to make me be a different mother. I'm going to. I always knew I'd be a cool
Oh,
mom. Like my kid wants to wear a dress, absolutely. But holy shit, am I promoting the idea of be kind to everyone, because you do not know what somebody is struggling with, what they have, anything, and we all have something, all of us. And if you can just be kind, it could change somebody's whole world. It really could.
Yeah.
And
That's
everybody,
it.
you
Yeah.
know. So Patrick's Purpose for sure. And
Okay.
also, if you guys could put your
yes.
pronouns in your bio, because
Oh, okay. Thank
that
Okay.
you.
it
Thank you.
it destigmatizes it, makes it a little bit more normal.
In our
Yeah,
personal bio to
Okay.
do it?
yeah.
Yeah. Can you explain, Abby? Because it is still like I'm still
Me too.
learning too.
Me too.
Um, okay, I'm still learning, and I wanna know more. And you're saying that how does that help
Um,
again by
it
us doing that?
destigmatizes if somebody were to use a different pronoun than maybe you would expect. Non-binary, they them pronouns. It gives people an opportunity to it just destigmatizes it. If you come across somebody who you may not know what pronouns they use, You know, I always like to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Abby. I use she, her pronouns. It gives them an opportunity to give theirs. But if we can normalize it where everybody says, these are my pronouns, and it's not a laughing thing, it's not like, haha, you know, then I really believe that so many more people will feel more comfortable just being themselves and feeling okay to, you know, maybe my gender switches today and maybe I feel different.
And again, like, I really appreciate you
Yeah,
saying that,
absolutely.
Carla. You know,
I
for
didn't
us,
I thought if I put
like,
that on there it was like almost kind of like offensive. I didn't understand that at all. So I just like didn't do it. So
Yeah,
thank you for explaining that.
totally. And the more that we normalize it and destigmatize it, it won't be so weird. It'll just, because it really is. It's a spectrum is the absolute definition. Like there's no other way to put it. It is a complete spectrum, and my definition is different than your definition, and we should just be kind. You know, as long as we're kind,
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
everybody's all good.
I would just like say, like, fuck it, be kind. Like,
Be
just
Be
fuck it
kind.
and be kind,
Yeah.
people. Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
good mom.
um, is there any other, because I definitely want to put them in our like post and stuff. And for moms that are listening to this that are relate going through this, you know, or end up going through this and they don't even know they're going to, because as we all know,
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
know our journeys. I don't have any other questions. I love that you came on and shared. And again, I think in this podcast and in what we're doing, it really is for moms just listening to hear another mom,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
say fuck it, and like how it made everything in their
Mhm.
family
Mhm.
better.
'Cause I mean, I honestly
So,
feel like all moms go through it. It's just they might not feel that other people do, so maybe they just don't share it enough, and that's our like I think our hope with this is to just like be open about it because there's so many people out there going through very similar feelings and emotions and changes, and like we're here to support each other. This is, being a mom is tough. So let's hold each other up, not bring each other down. We're
Yeah.
here for each other.
That village, right? Build that village.
Yes, build that village. Exactly.
it really is a fucking village,
Yes,
man.
it is. And like in this country, unfortunately, it's just not built to have like for us to have a village at all. Like, and we're expected to hit all these things after we give birth physically and going back to work and all that stuff. And it's just it's unrealistic, completely unrealistic, that I feel like so many moms, like, the postpartum depression and all that, but like even years past are still struggling with like, man, I had such a hard time because I was so isolated during all that.
Hmm.
So hopefully,
Yeah, and I think these stories like this with our children and sharing them, and that's why I really appreciated you coming on, because it's yours and it could be just yours, but by sharing stories, that's how we all learn. You taught Carla and I tonight
yeah,
something, you know, like
yes,
if you don't share and you don't speak up and you don't teach, I feel like a lot of us moms, we
yeah,
miss out, you know, and we try and act like we're perfect and we have it all together and we post our family picture on Instagram, and that's not what's going on.
mm-mm.
You know, we all need to be like learning
Totally.
from each other and lifting each other up and encouraging each other to fuck it and just be kind, you know? So, I mean, I just love
Yeah.
that. Like, like so
We might change
perfect.
our
So
tagline.
thank
We're
you.
still
Thank you
early
so
on this
much.
podcast.
I know. I was like, Carla, I kind
Just
of like
fuck it
that.
and be kind.
Just fucking be
Yeah.
kind, you
Yeah.
know? But we appreciate it. We will post up the pages for you, and we will go in and change our
Oh,
Yes.
pronouns. And we we appreciate everyone. I hope that's listening. You go and change yours, and we just help make, make it a better world. Be kind to each other.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you
thank you.
guys. I really appreciate it.
Just
Just
F
F it.
it. Okay.
That was very good.
That
Yeah.
was great.
I'm
Yeah. That was a really
What a
I
lesson
like
that
that.
was.
She did educate us, and like these are children that we want to make a world for, that we do
Yeah.
change. And I hope that all the moms listening go in and change
Yeah.
theirs,
Yeah.
you know? I loved what she had to say. And then just the like changing your
100.
story.
Oh, the fuck. I say it all the time. Oh my god.
I'm gonna get you a T-shirt. That's
I'm just
100,
gonna get
Carla.
it tattooed
That's
on my arm, and
100.
every time I'd be like, yeah,
100.
100.
Mm.
Um,
This is what I love though about what we're doing is that we're learning, and I hope that like we just continue
oh my
to
God, we
learn.
totally are with all these stories. We
You
are going to
know?
learn so much. That's what's so exciting about this is that not only are we just
I
like
know.
building a community, we are learning and therefore teaching. Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. I really do, and I think like even moms that like have their kids going to school right now, it's like hearing stories like this, even if it's not something present in their world or in their life, or they don't know anyone going through this, just thinking about teaching their kids that acceptance. So when their kid goes to school, they are more accepting of
Yes.
other children
Yes.
because it's one of those things where it's like out of sight, out of
Yeah.
mind almost, because you don't have to, that's not something
Yeah.
in your home. But then teaching our kids to be kind to
Yeah.
everybody.
The more moms like her, the more this like whole world is going to shift.
Change. Change.